Remember how RFK Jr., with no warning, fired every single member of the vaccine advisory board that the CDC had? All of these, like, you know, the top minds in the field. We got some new ones. 8 new members. Just 2 days after Kennedy removed all sitting members of the advisory committee. Kennedy said in a post on Twitter, of course, Great Barrington Declaration. What in the malware is this? Okay, I think they linked, I think they did the wrong hyperlink, because this is clearly supposed to link to a Twitter post, but instead it links to some kind of, you know, signature request for a medical bill. I'm not entirely sure. Just RFK Jr. Twitter. Phishing site? Well, I'm sure it was just a mistake. I do not see any announcement of a new board on Twitter. In fact, he's been weirdly quiet on Twitter, actually. April 26th right here. May 9th right here. May 11th, that's when he swam in the poop water. And then here's a kid. June 9th. Fake news? No, I just don't know. Maybe he tweeted it from like a different account. RFK Jr. Twitter vaccine board. Okay, here we go. It was from the Secretary Kennedy account. That makes more sense. Oh God, and it's an essay post. Oh God, this is how you can expect to get all of your like in-depth government news drops from now on. Jesus fucking Christ. Thank God for Elon's Twitter Blue. If it weren't for that, he would have to break this out across like 27 tweets. Average dono. Okay, so who are these people? I'm not taking RFK's word in it. Who are the 7 people he's decided should be on the advisory board for vaccines? Let's see. Martin Kulldorff, a biostatistician who previously served in the vaccine safety subgroup of ACIP, and who was a co-author of the Great Barrington Declaration. Okay, so the Great Barrington Declaration is what the earlier hyperlink directed me to. What the hell is this? Great Barrington Declaration. Let's find out together. Read the declaration. The Great Barrington Declaration. As infectious disease epidemiologists and public health scientists, we have grave concerns about the damaging physical and mental health impacts of the prevailing COVID-19 policies. Okay, gotcha. It is a declaration asking for an end to lockdown. And no, look at the very top. Dr. Martin Kulldorff. Very, very good. Okay. All right. Well, that's number 1. Martin Kulldorff was fired from Harvard University for refusing COVID vaccination. He later claimed it was because he was, quote, too pro-vaccine. cityjournal.org article, Harvard tramples the truth. And this is written by, you guessed it, Martin Kulldorff. It's just him complaining about the lockdowns. I'm skimming. I remember this guy from the drama about him getting fired from Harvard. Oh my God. Since mid-2021, we have known, as one would expect, that COVID-acquired immunity is superior to vaccine-acquired immunity. Based on that, I argued hospitals should hire, not fire, nurses and other hospital staff with COVID-acquired immunity, since they have stronger immunity than the vaccinated. COVID-acquired immunity fades, like, really quickly after you get it. We should actually, no. We should fire our vaccinated health professionals, and we should hire, like, the ones that are still sick. Because if they're still sick, that means the immunity will last longer. Vaccine mandates are unethical. No, I don't think that's true. I think that the polio and smallpox vaccines, etc., are actually, like, really, really good. In my personal opinion. This is end time shit. Yeah. I like how earlier in this article, this guy argues that his authenticity is enhanced by the fact that he's done all of this work without any sponsorships from pharmaceutical companies. But then he goes on to, and I bet you money's exchanged hands, join Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s vaccine advisory panel, indicating that there is, in fact, a financial incentive in this particular kind of crankery. I mean, all you have to do is look at Jimmy Dore to see that the anti-vaccine hysteria, the anti-lockdown hysteria, did make quite a few people their careers. Anyway, that's guy number one, okay? Here's guy number two, Robert Malone. I recognize this name. A physician, scientist, and biochemist who made early contributions to mRNA vaccine tech. He was dubbed a misinformation star by the New York Times for spreading false info about COVID and mRNA shots, including claiming he was an inventor of the technology. This guy went on Joe Rogan, didn't he? I remember this guy. This guy is really bad. This guy has made an entire career out of lying about mRNA vaccines because he was like vaguely associated with their creation. This guy isn't even like a scientific figure. This guy's been disgraced for decades. Well, maybe a decade. Is this the guy with 4 stage 4 cancer friends? No, I don't think so. Like to get, okay, again, remember that this guy is on the vaccine approval board. Now, with that being said, let's read just a little bit of this. Mel Gibson was the cancer guy? Yeah. In November 2021, Malone shared a deceptive video on Twitter that falsely linked athlete deaths to COVID-19 vaccines. In particular, the video suggests that Jake West, a 17-year-old Indiana high school football player who succumbed to sudden cardiac arrest, had actually died from COVID-19 vaccination. However, West died in 2013 due to an undiagnosed heart condition. Malone deleted the video from his Twitter account and received a cease and desist from West's family. Malone later said on Twitter he did not know the video was doctored. Twitter actually suspended Malone after he shared on that platform a video about the supposed harmful effects of the Pfizer vaccine. Malone made the unfounded claim that COVID-19 vaccines are, quote, damaging T-cell responses and causing a form of AIDS. He claimed he had a lot of scientific data to back up his claim, but did not cite evidence. He sued Twitter, along with 2 other doctors, for suspending their accounts. Yep, here he is on Joe Rogan. He said that society in its reaction to COVID-19 was just as during the rise of Nazi Germany. Spoken at anti-vaccine and anti-vaccine mandate rallies. He has a Substack. Elon unbanned him. And he lives on a horse farm with his wife. That's nice. So, yeah, that's another one. That's number 2. We now know about 2 of the people who have been made members of the Vaccine Advisory Board. Cody Meissner, a professor of pediatrics at the Geisel School of, or Geisel, I don't know, of medicine at Dartmouth, who has previously held advisory roles for both CDC and FDA. Okay. He is also a signer of the Great Barrington Declaration and co-wrote an editorial with FDA Commissioner Marty McCarry during the COVID pandemic arguing against masking for children. Okay. Relatively minor compared to the last guy, but seems like the recurring pattern we're going to see here is that every single one of these people will have achieved some degree of notoriety for being a COVID conspiracy theorist. Insane how over it is for this country. We're never recovering from this. The Democrats would need to exhibit like Mao Zedong or fucking Ho Chi Minh levels of like social and cultural control to pull us out of this death spiral that we're in, you know? No, like literally, liberalism cannot pull us out of this. This is a level of overwhelming, tyrannical devolution, like social devolution, that moderate reform simply cannot address, you know? It's not possible. Retsef Levi, a professor of operations research at MIT, a critic of mRNA vaccines, posting on social media in 2023 that, quote, we have to stop giving them immediately. Okay, conspiracy theorist. Vicky Pebsworth, longtime nurse with a PhD in public health, nurse. She previously served on the FDA's Vaccine and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee and on the National Vaccine Advisory Committee's Vaccine Safety Working Group for the H1N1 vaccine. Okay, some experience here. As of 2022, Pebsworth served on the board of the National Vaccine Information Center, an anti-vaccine group. She's spoken publicly about her son experiencing long-term health issues following vaccines at 15 months old. An anti-vax Facebook group. Yeah, is it autism? As a Canadian, y'all are so... Yeah, well, you know what? You'll catch whatever mutagens we develop on this side of the border, okay? I'm gonna cough on you. Joseph Hibbeln, phenomenal name for a Nazi. A psychiatrist and neuroscientist who previously worked at the NIH for many years. He primarily studies nutrition and brain health. Oh, is this like a normal guy? Michael Ross, clinical professor of obstetrics and gynecology at George Washington University, Virginia Commonwealth University. James Pagano, an emergency medicine physician licensed in Florida and California. So the last three here are not having any attribution, any accusations made against them here with regard to anti-vax conspiracism. We'll see. It is entirely possible some of these people may be completely non-problematic. Angela Rasmussen, a virologist at the Vaccine and Infectious Disease Organization at the University of Saskatchewan. However, others are, quote, unbelievably anti-vax people. They are 100% not going to approach this in good faith. None of the new members immediately responded to a request for comment. Okay, yeah, anyway, we're all gonna die. I don't know. What do you want from me, dude? Fucking crazy. I feel like I'm watching Lysenkoism happen all over again. I feel like I'm watching in disbelief as this shit happens again. They're declaring mRNA vaccines to be a Jewish science, not worth pursuing. This feels like a social experiment. Well, yeah, in that line, you can take some comfort in the knowledge that future doctors will, in fact, be able to learn a lot from the period we're about to experience. How the f does this help the bourgeoisie? Well, ignoring quantum mechanics in Nazi Germany didn't help the fascist regime there. Fascism is irrational, you know? RFK Jr. is the purest example of that. How, like, irrational anti-empiricist conspiracism still favors them, right? Because the fact that they have RFK means that they attract the support of certain types of people. People who might not otherwise like the Republicans. RFK picked the Hibbeln guy because he did a study about how omega-3 causes autism. Huh. You might actually be right. They love this kind of shit. Nutritional insufficiencies of omega-3 highly unsaturated fatty acids may have adverse effects on brain development and neurodevelopmental outcomes. This fits in line with the kind of stuff they propagandize over. It might actually be that. I wonder if RFK Jr. just, like, flipped through a list, you know? So eating fish causes autism? No. Not eating fish causes autism. Nutritional insufficiencies of omega-3. You need more fish. The advancement of physics in Nazi Germany didn't benefit the rich, but medical science benefits the rich here. I think that if the Nazis had taken, you know, quantum physics seriously, they might have been able to build the bomb, and then they could have won the war. But they didn't. And also they chased out all of their Jewish scientists, who then worked for us. So it ended up hurting them, like, pretty badly. Look, what you got to understand is that all of this is being done in the service of the oligarchy, but the oligarchy is really stupid, and so are all the people working for them. Unfortunately, like, we're not seeing a stunning display of competence from the administration, just weakness from everyone else. They're not pulling off some big power plays here, okay? These people are genuinely very, very stupid. I mean, we all watched Elon get radicalized live. Like, he went from an insincere liberal dipshit, fake, you know, Tony Stark on Twitter over time to buying into the conspiracy theories that he was using Twitter's algorithms to promote. Like, we saw him get radicalized by reply guys, you know, by cat turd, by the neo-Nazis that he follows. A lot of the people in the Trump administration are probably, like, similarly susceptible. They probably also think vaccines cause autism. Like, why not? That's a stupid guy thing to believe.